Welcome back to another episode of Cope's Corner. I am your host, as always, Mike Copenaver, aka Real Mike. You can find me on Twitter at Cope's Corner, KOPESKORNER. Stoked to be here with this week with my special guest, the Periscope OG MMA gangster himself, Mr. B, the MMA guy. He's been on before, and I'm stoked to have his insight. Last time that Mr. B was on, we basically ran the table on every single MMA promotion that was going on that week, and absolutely dominated our bets. And after a week of dominating bets last week for UFC, I'm stoked to be with you after another winning weekend of Pat in the Bank and the bankroll for the show. Stoked to be with you, Mr. B. Thanks for being here, my dude.
Hey, man. I gladly appreciate being on here, man. Happy for you to have me on, man. Yeah, we did real good last time I was on here, man.
Nothing
event was solid too.
For sure. Nothing new. You and I have been doing this for long enough where if we just give you a little bit of our insight, you're sure to cash some bets in the future. So if you guys don't know about my show, this show is about MMA sports betting, specifically usually on Ultimate Fighting Championships. I go over the weekly odds for the upcoming UFC event for the upcoming the weekend's event, and I pick my best bets and for my lean on the edge for you to cash your bets. Last weekend, we for the UFC Vegas 35, we cashed 2 bets, went 2-0, cashed $200 for 2 units, cash to the bank. So let's go, baby. With that said, I'm gonna jump in and give my sponsor some love real fast, Mr. B.
Go ahead.
1 second. So. First sponsor I'd like to thank is Melon Brand Hats. It's MELIN. It's a luxury line of hats that my boy Brian McDonald dreamed up in high school. He'd always talked about how he'd have a hat line unlike any other you've ever seen, with different patterns, different materials. Some are waterproof. Some have just really, really cool colors, patterns, textures. It's just really cool stuff. So if you're into hats and having something different than everyone else around you, make sure to go to Melon Brand Hats. It's MELIN.com. Get yourself a hat for this season, and they have some real cool winter ones as well. Secondly, I'd like to shout out my second sponsor from Guam. It's FOKAI stuff.com. It's Guamalian gear. They sponsored Frank the Crank Camacho, Brandon the Truth Vera, my boy Herman Tirado over their Game Bred training facility down in San Diego. Barry Yoshida Prodigy. So make sure you go to FokaiStuff.com. They have shirts, they have beanies, they have hats, they have blankets for babies, they have backpacks, they have socks that I sport. They have welcome mats for the door. All the stuff is made by Islanders and it supports all the Guamalians over there in Guam that do this. So I appreciate having Rome support. Appreciate you being here, MLB, and all the other 32 of you live here to join us for the show. Just so make sure you go to FokaiStuff.com and give the Guamalians some love. Thirdly, I'd like to thank Spliff Seeds Amsterdam. It's genetic lines of Mary Jane medication. And if you look at the picture on the video, it's of lemon cream kush female. It's the actual picture of my plant that I grew. It's on a cover of a book of a famous grower in the UK named Sean Prana, Prana. So shout out to him for having my picture on the front of his book, and for also Spliff Seeds supplying me the best genetics. So if you like growing, make sure you go to Spliff Seeds Amsterdam, spliffseeds.com, spliffseeds.nl, and get yourself some products. They're over in the Netherlands, so real good people. And with that said, I'd like to thank my other sponsors. I have Justin L. in Vancouver. We have Ted Hicks, who are here on Haps, who does Late Night Parents. We have, let's see, missing someone else. Ryan Richardson, Kick Your Bass on Twitter. I have him, and so I really just can't thank you enough for all you guys' support and for you guys supporting us each and every week. I am nothing without you. Thank you for the Super Hard Award, MLB. You're such a sweet lady. I can't thank you enough for always supporting me since the beginning. So with that said, last weekend we had UFC Vegas 35, and it was actually it was a pretty exciting event. What did you think about it, Mr. B?
Oh man, it was good. It was real good. Turned out a lot more crazy than I expected. But yeah, overall, I was quite impressed, man.
Nice. No worries. We'll jump into it right now. The first fight, yeah, no worries. We'll make it easier for you. The first fight of the night that we had for the UFC Vegas 35 was Mana Martinez took on Guido Cannetti. Everyone was super high on Mana Martinez, and I was myself as well. I know that he had some hardships lately with his coach, who was actually the guy that passed away. And so he was had a lot of little demons to fight, and he earned a split decision win over Guido Cannetti, the Argentinian, and ended up just barely edging that one. It wasn't to me. I wasn't very exciting to me in that performance. What about you, Mr. B?
Yeah, it was a pretty back and forth fight. Yeah, it wasn't nothing really crazy about it. Canetti did get some offense in, which I was kind of surprised about. I thought Mano was gonna come in and get like a quick KO or something like that, but it went a little crazier than I expected it to. But yeah, Mano pulled off the victory. I mean,
Yeah, nice. So the man of Martinez, the favorite right there, ended up winning the fight and cashed the bet there for anyone whoever bet on man of Martinez. I was close to betting him, but his line got swarmed by the public, and I just could not end up firing on him. So the next fight of the night was an absolute it was good while it lasted, and it went quick, man. It was Pat Sabatini, the OG veteran, versus Jamal Emmers. And man, dude, I was really high on Jamal Emmers. This wasn't a bet for the show, but it was a bet for my degenerate self. I put some money down on Jamal Emmers on the money line. I thought that he was just going to be the better athlete, and then all around have just more power and just be more agile and whatnot. But he decided to play footsies there with Pat Sabatini, ended up getting himself in a heel hook, and see he's going to be fucked for at least 6 months to a year after an MCL, ACL blown the way that that heel hook was ripped on him. Pat Sabatini did not fuck around, man. I wasn't a big fan of it because with the heel hook and the knee, it's one of one of the injuries when you roll, you don't really have a chance to tap because you don't really feel pain right away. It's instant pain and rip, so there's no real chance to tap, like an arm bar or like a choke. So it was kind of vicious on Sabatini's part. He knew what the fuck he's doing, and he knew he was going to end up hurting Jamal Emmers. But to his credit, he was there to win the fight, and he sure did that. And what did you think about that heel hook, Mr. B? Because I was just grimacing.
That was a nasty heel hook.
Ugh.
And you're absolutely right, man. Jamal Emmers had the fight won. It was like right there in the palm of his hands. And he went to the ground with Sabatini. You know what I mean? And that was not it. That was not the idea, the plan. You can't do that with a guy that grapples like Sabatini. You can't do that. And he went for the toe hold and overcommitted to that toe hold.
Yeah.
Once I think Sabatini was trying to grab a leg, he should have just let go and try to get back up.
Oh,
you
man.
Can't do that, man.
It's just so vicious, man. I've rolled in jiu-jitsu my whole life and also done wrestling. And if anyone gets I have some small legs, man. I call them chicken legs. I don't like them. And when someone grabs my leg and puts me in a heel hook, I'm not fucking around. I'm tapping fast. I'm not even playing. I don't want to fuck.
Yeah.
It's not even worth risking. I work for Local 44 Hollywood. I frame walls for a living. I'm not trying to be hurt all year long. I don't get paid enough money. These guys don't even get paid enough money to get hurt, and they're fighters. So, with that said, these heel hooks are nothing to play with. And Pat Sabatini earned himself a vicious round one victory over Jamal Emmers, Jamal Emmers has still got a high ceiling in my opinion, but man, he's going to be out for a year, man, in my opinion. And that's just really harmful to a young man like that. But I just want to shout out my other sponsor, the active sponsor, Ryan Richardson here, Kick Your Bass, professional fisherman. Thank you for the high award, bro, and appreciate you being here. Appreciate all 56 of you guys live here and the awards that you guys have given me. And Fight Compa, the Periscope OG MMA legend too. Him and Mr. B, both these dudes. If you back in the day, you needed an MMA stream, you went to Fight Compa or you went to Mr. B, and they had it for you. So I love both these guys. So shout out to Fight Compa for being up in the mix. Like I said, if you ever need a stream or want to watch some MMA with some good people, Mr. B always has it on, or my boy Fight Compa. Great company. So just want to shout out you guys while we're here. The next fight of the night was a third bout. It was JJ Aldrich. It was a prelim versus Vanessa Demopoulos. And JJ Aldrich, what can I say? I call her Sarah, the Triceratops from The Land Before Time, because every time that she gets beat up, her forehead just keeps rising out like a shelf. And she looks like that. You remember, did you watch that Land Before Time, the dinosaurs?
Yes, I did.
Dude, she looks just like Sarah, that Triceratops, bro. I'm telling you, a little punk. But JJ Aldrich, Punk, Vanessa Demopoulos, all around the cage, did whatever she wanted with her. Her straight left was looking crisp. She's a southpaw, and that really, really harmed Vanessa. Vanessa didn't seem to be able to get anything going at all. I think maybe at one point on the ground she tried for something, but it didn't work out well. But JJ Aldrich was in control all 3 rounds. Nothing more really to talk about besides JJ Aldrich just dominated it. The next fight of the night was a really decent bout because I had money on Dustin Jacoby personally versus Darren the Dentist Stewart and Dustin Jacoby. Holy shit. Round 1, punches, standing TKO Darren Stewart and just viciously pounded him into the oblivion. Really looked like a much bigger favorite than he was on his money line. So Dustin Jacoby, I mean, I don't know if it's Dentist Stewart, Darren Stewart falling off so badly, or Dustin Jacoby really might be something here. But what did you think about this bout, Mr. B?
Man, I was kind of split because I'm a fan of both guys. I was super excited when Jacoby got signed back to the UFC, and yeah, man, Jacoby was in it to win it. Both guys were trying to fight. Darren Stewart was pretty much fighting for his job in this fight. And Jacoby came out, landed some good shots, got him against that fence, man, and just teed off.
True.
That was a vicious finish, man.
Oh.
And follow up from that, man, they cut Darren Stewart.
Yeah.
They cut Darren Stewart, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, the news came, I think it was yesterday.
If it ain't bad enough, getting knocked unconscious into the next century that they give you your parting papers for the following week,
Yeah, it's just,
That's UFC for you, though. They do not love long, man. They just destroy them. But anyways, Dustin Jacoby looked good, got a decent ceiling. And with that said, the 4th bout of the night, he had earned the standing TKO victory over Darren Stewart. The 5th bout was Wellington Turman took on Sam Smiling Alvey. This fight here, I was all Sam Alvey all day. I wanted Sam Alvey to win. I think it was more of a. I believed he could win, but I wanted him to win as a fan. So there was not only did he have a chance, he actually was just a good person. So I want him to win in that sense as well. He ended up losing a split decision to Wellington Turman that a lot of people can go back and forth with a little bit on this one. Was this one the eye poke, Mr. B?
Yeah, it was an eye poke.
Okay, it was an eye poke, right? And so, was it 2 points he got deducted?
2 eye pokes. Yep.
Jeez. Two. So Wellington Turman ended up getting deducted 2 points for an eye pokes, and he still ended up winning the split decision to show you. I don't know if it's kind of hard to justify. I know he was definitely dominating in the beginning, but to lose 2 points, you would think it'd be a draw at this point. But it is what it is. Sam Alvey, he's still going to be here to fight. Dana White seems to love him. He always calls upon him. Whenever he's called upon, he comes to fight. And so with that said, Wellington Turman, he got lucky versus Sam Alvey. He will not be so lucky versus next partner, and I will be looking to fade him because Sam Alvey is good, but he is not the great upper echelon of the sport. And now Wellington Turman will have a little bit of steam going into whatever bout he gets into, and I will hope to get a decent number on his dancing partner. But with that said, the next bout was Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Finally came through from the Brotherhood, bro. This guy came through like a knight and head kick, TKO, or KO'd Alessio Di Caprico to hell. It's kind of ironic. Alessio did this to Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley did this to someone else. And then Abdul Razak Al Hassan finally gets the fight and comes through, and he looks amazing, man. And he just smokes Alessio. He looked ripped. His whole body looked amazing, man. I don't know if it was because his back was against the wall and he was close to being cut after the losses, but Abdul Razak Al Hassan wins the TKO head kick victory, round 1 versus Alessio, the Italian Di Caprico. What'd you think about that one, Mr. B?
That was just nasty. Nasty. That's all I could say. Man.
It was so much fun, man. I just love when they have those vicious KO TKOs. And Abdul Razak, he's a great athlete, man. He's all around got good game. He just hasn't really performed well. And this seemed to be like a matchup. They kind of had us fooled with Alessio coming off the viral KO of Buckley. But Al Hassan looked really good, and I was actually stoked to see him win here because he really needed this for himself, for his family, for the money, and for his bank account, baby. So the next fight of the night was one of the biggest underdogs of the card, if not the biggest. GM3, Gerald Meerschaert. came through and won a submission victory, rear naked choke, Makhmed Muradov's ass in round 2. Makhmed was, I think, a negative 500 favorite here versus the GM3 underdog. If you don't know what that means you need to put about $500 to make 100 on Muradov. So it's insane, man. I had Muradov to win here. I honestly did. So I'm not even going to front. I didn't bet it. So don't get it twisted. I wasn't one of those suckers. But Muradov ended up cheeseballing here, man. He looked decent in round 1 and then just gassed out. And the GM3 came through round 2, earned the submission victory, rear naked choke, and cashed a big underdog bet for a lot of people and ended up being a great performance. What did you think about that rear naked choke, Mr. B?
Damn fine performance by Gerald Mearshart. Super disappointed with Muradov losing though. I thought Muradov. I'm mad for 2 reasons. Muradov lost, and the fact that if I was betting, I should have put something on Gerald Mearshart. But regardless of that, man, Mearshart weathered a storm.
Yeah,
he weathered a storm and came back. You know what I mean? Pressured the hell out of Muradov. Muradov got gassed bad, man. And then managed to land those shots and get that, you know what I mean, get that finish. Really impressive by Joe Mearshart, man.
It really was, man. I kind of kicking myself too because I have the rule here on Cope's Corner, and it's I rarely go against it. And it's the OG versus the newcomer. When there's an OG with a little bit of gas tank or a possible avenue of victory, like GM3 had in the sub game here versus Muradov, you possibly throw it on there. But that's why I didn't bet Muradov myself, is because there's no way I'm touching a fight like this with that money line versus someone with so much experience as GM3 has now. But great submission victory by GM3 here with the rear naked choke. The next fight of the night was pretty much easy work here. It was the D1 wrestler Andre Petrovsky from the Ultimate Fighter season 29. He was one of the favorite guys to win the whole Ultimate Fighter. He doesn't have a good stand-up game at all, man, but he's got a great wrestling game and great body at that. He took on Michael Gilmore. Michael Gilmore was the guy who ended up coming in on late notice in the Ultimate Fighter house, taking on a fight very short notice and losing very badly. But either way, Andre Petrovsky won ground and pound round 3. To me, this was a layup volleyball, absolute one of the easiest picks on the card, even though Andre Petrovsky's striking is absolute garbage, in my opinion. In the future, I will be looking to fade Andre Petrovsky heavily. If he goes up against a wrestler with a decent takedown game and with striking, I will look to absolutely be betting against Andre Petrovsky, because I just his striking is not there, man. Well, but either way, we won't hit on too much. He won his victory, ground and pound, round 3. What'd you think about this bout versus Andre Petrovsky versus Michael Gilmore, Mr. B?
Good win for Petrovsky. Kind of questionable on that cardio though, a little bit. You're right about that striking. That striking needs to improve a bit more. I didn't like how we fight. He started fading bad in that second round, going into that third round. But that wrestling, man, his wrestling saves him in a lot of situations. But he did good though. Gilmore was the late replacement on the show. I was happy to see that he got a fight on the card though. But
For sure.
I like to see him back again. And see what he does, because he has potential. He has potential to, you know what I mean, to be up in the mix for a little bit. Yeah, so I like to see him back again. But yeah, man, Petrovsky got to work on some things, but he looks all right. He was talking about going down to welterweight. I wouldn't mind seeing that. If
he would look really good down there at welterweight, in my opinion. I think he can, because wrestlers can usually do that. Shout out to Ted Hicks, our sponsor in the chat. Late Night Parents, extraordinaire host, absolute just stud in general. Make sure you go and tune into Ted Hicks on Late Night Parents. Ted Hicks on Haps. He's just absolutely amazing. One of the best dudes I've ever met, especially had the honor to meet him here on Haps. So shout out to Ted Hicks. Appreciate all 86 of you guys here live with me and Mr. B to shoot the shit about this MMA game and last weekend's UFC card that we were very successful in. The next fight of the night was Daniel Rodriguez D-Rod versus Kevin Motown Lee. And I'm gonna say it honestly, I'm so fucking glad that I'm so smart and that I just didn't bet this. I just knew something was weird. I knew like I know it's like Kevin Lee should win this, right? With experience, with the wrestling, right? And he did that
Yes.
in round one. He showed you why he could win this fight in round one. Round two, round three, after he had no gas and he didn't use that game plan, Daniel Rodriguez came on strong, man. Came through like a freight train, ended up winning unanimous decision and taking out the Motown Kevin Lee, which is actually a great victory, man. I've been high on Daniel Rodriguez since his entry into the UFC. I bet him versus Nicholas Doughboy Dalby, which he lost a split decision. I was actually very disappointed in. And then I bet him the next two times that he won. So I know all about D-Rod, but I really thought that his wrestling defense was going to lack here and that Kevin Lee would have an avenue. But it is what it is. D-Rod looked absolutely amazing. Ended up showing up and showing out, winning this affair, unanimous decision, all three rounds. All three judges gave it to D-Rod, beating Kevin Motown Lee. What'd you think about this victory for D-Rod, Mr. B?
Solid victory for D-Rod, man. That guy was on point. Kevin Lee came into this fight, man, and just like yourself, I wanted to believe in Kevin Lee. I left it alone on my DraftKings picks because
Good.
I didn't know where it was gonna go. I really thought Kevin Lee's wrestling was gonna be the deciding factor in this, but man, he had that first round, but after that second round, like during that second round, it was like D-Rod started defending those takedowns. He started landing those shots, and then that third round was just brutal if you're a Kevin Lee fan, man. Because D-Rod was just rocking him left and right. It was just ugly. Kevin Lee striking just slowed down. The cardio was kind of going, and man, if you're talking
D-Rod
about
looked good.
yeah, if you're talking about a shining moment right there for D-Rod being a former title contender, you know what I mean? Just insane, man, insane. But
yeah, really good, man. D-Rod, he's going to have a tough little run coming up now. Now you beat Kevin Lee. The next run up is going to be really, really difficult. So I can't wait to see who they pair up D-Rod with so that we could see what kind of line we will get on that. But the next fight of the night was finally some action for Cope's Corner. It was the first bet of the night. It was the first Ultimate Fighter finale, season 29 tournament championship bout between the 135-pounders Ricky Trichos versus Brady Highstand. We had the bet on Ricky Trichos Hadouken here to win this fight versus Brady Highstand, and sure as shit, he did that. He earned a split decision. But with that said, man, the Brady Highstand is one tough son of a bitch, dude. This kid kept coming and coming like a firefighter coming up the stairs for their victims, dude. This dude kept marching and marching, bro. Had all the heart and everything that for Ricky, bro. Really gave me some scares and some Ricky some fits, but Ricky's just determination, his scrambling ability, the way that he is, the way how active he is off his back. I mean, just he's so aggressive. He ended up splitting Brady Highstand up a little bit and had him bloodied. To me, turned it up really good at the end and ended up winning this decision is cleanly in my eyes. Cashed that bet for Cope's Corner to keep the streak alive. That's 1-0 for the night. Another $100 to the bankroll plus 1 units for Cope's Corner. So let's fucking go, baby. What do you think about this fight, Mr. B?
what a fight! What a fight!
What
man.
a fight!
Took place everywhere. What you always ask for in a fight, that's what you got in the fight. We talking about they striking, clinch work. The fact that Highstand took Ricky down, Tercios down, and Ricky was still throwing elbows while his back was on the ground. This man was active in every position, and it was just crazy.
Vicious.
The scrambles. I mean, oh, come on, man.
It was a treat to watch.
Yeah, real good treat, man. The submission attempt, all these things, man. It was just like wow. And man, you're right. You're right. Brady Highstand, man. Oh, they gotta sign that guy too, man.
Oh man, we had a party here like we do every single weekend, a barbecue at the house. So we have swimming and all that stuff going on. And this fight, man, we had the whole entire house just screaming from round to round, back and forth. It was just an absolute treat to watch this bout between Ricky Trichos and Brady Highstand. But with that said, Ricky Chirichos cashed that bets for Cope's Corner and kept the streak alive.
Yeah.
Then won the 135-pound Ultimate Fighter Season 29 championship. So let's fucking go, Ricky. Congratulations, and just wish you the best because he's actually a really good person. And the next bout of the night was the 185-pound championship for the Tough 29 season finale, and it was Brian motherfucking Battle took on Gilbert Urbina of the Gangster Urbina brothers. And let me tell you this, Gilbert Urbina showed out. This dude wasn't even supposed to be here. It was supposed to be Tresson Gore. And Tresson Gore versus Brian Battle would have been a whole nother thing in general, and I would have backed Tresson Gore. But when it came to this bout, I saw a clear edge with Brian Battle. And let me tell you, I was shit it bricks when Gilbert Urbina was throwing them fucking hands on Brian Battle's face. He was piecing Brian Battle up all over the place. At one point, I was like, fuck this. This shit's over, bro. You might as well give up. You might quit betting, bro, because, I mean, he's fucking you up. But Brian Battle, he battled through, no pun intended, all the attacks, all of the offense of Gilbert Urbina. Gilbert Urbina ended up, throwing so much offense in round one that there's no way. I told everyone here, there's no way that his gas tank could keep up with the amount of offense and output that he was pouring on. And Brian Battle ended up coming through, winning and getting a submission and ending up winning the 185-pound championship, Tough 29 season finale. And I believe he would have won $100,000, which seems pretty weak next to PFL's million now. But either way, Brian Battle won the Tough 29 finale versus Gilbert Urbina, and this fight, it was absolutely a treat to watch too, man. We had the whole house going crazy. Did you love this fight too, like I did, Mr. B?
I love this fight too, man, because that boy Urbina, man, came out guns blazing that first round.
I
was as just like you. I was shitting bricks myself. I was just like, oh no, like Urbina would just had this guy in so much trouble. And I just don't know how Battle just managed to weather that storm and come right back, and then just, end up. He finished strong in that second round, got his wherewithal, and then came back to get the finish in the second round.
So impressive.
I was like, come on.
It was so impressive though that Brian Battle could withstand all of those attacks, man. And what I didn't notice or hear anyone say in the Ultimate Fighter Season 29, but I noticed on Brian Battle's body, not to be body shaming him at all, because I don't mean to do that, but I noticed he had some stretch marks. So he looks like he was a very big guy at one point. I know he's fighting at 185 pounds. I'm thinking that he must have been at least a 230 pounder plus, right?
I think, he mentioned it on the show that he used to fight at heavyweight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he mentioned that he had fought at heavyweight at one point.
All right,
he cut down the weight. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Cut down the weight. Yeah.
Good stuff, Mr. B. Yeah, I must have missed that point there, but yeah, like I said, I noticed on his body that this dude was a big mofo at one point. And guys that are used to carrying around that weight for a long time, once they skinny up, bro, they have a different amount of power in them because, like I said, they've been used to pushing around their bodies with excessive weight for so long that now once their body's in shape, I mean, you're going to be in a world of hurt. And if he used to be a heavyweight and now he's fighting at 185, that's 265 pounds dropping down past the 205 mark down to 185. So pretty incredible for Brian Battle to overcome everything that he's gone through in life. But he won that 185 Tough 29 crown, and that was the second bet of the night and the last bet of the night for Cope's Corner cash. So 2 units cashed, $200 to the bankroll. So let's fucking go, baby. All we do is cash those bets. But I don't even know. I told everyone knows who the real MMA for money is. MMA for money. I make the motherfucking money in MMA. Get at me, okay? Cope's Corner every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. But the next fight of the night was another fight that I'm very proud that I called. It was Giga Chickadee versus Edson Barbossa. It was the main event of the night. And everyone knows Edson Barbossa is an absolute savage. His kicks are legendary. His everything is legendary, man. His body, he's just a great dude, just a great fighter at that. And he's been fighting in the UFC for a long time. Well, he took on the newcomer Giga Chickadee. Not newcomer in the sense of he's young, but newcomer in the sense he's much newer in the UFC than Edson is. But dude, Giga came to fucking bang, son. And I tell you what, he seriously impressed me a shit ton, dude, because Edson Barbossa is not an easy guy to finish, let alone beat. And he ended up smoked him in round 3, KO, TKO punches. He put Edson Barbossa on Bambi legs and had him on the linguini weenie wobble. And Giga Chickadee just gave him them things, dude. So shout out to Giga Chickadee for cashing my other bet of the night. It wasn't for Cope's Corner, but it was for my own personal degenerate action that I knew that he was going to cash that baby. But Giga Chickadee, what did you think about that performance versus Edson Barbossa, Mr. B?
I thought Edson was gonna do it. I ain't gonna lie. I thought
dude.
my faith in just, you know what I mean. Edson's been that dude for some years. You know what I mean. You know, and how elite he's been. You know, his striking's always been on point, but he's been in those wars. But damn, Giga was on another level on Saturday night, man. Just on another level. And it goes to show these kickboxing folks, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We pay attention to dudes like Israel Adesanya, but you know, you got to look at Giga. Giga been in Glory Kickboxing and doing some other kickboxing for some years himself. And he's a young guy, and man, Edson looked good, but Jesus, Giga was just on another level, man.
Edson looked good too. I can't believe that Giga is that good, man. I was so impressed with him. But I told people, I was like, at my party, they're like, you don't think Edson's going to do it? I was like, man, you know, I always pick the OG versus the newcomer. But this is one where I'm telling you, the line was bait, man. It was negative 120. Edson Barbossa at the time of closing, it was plus 105 on Giga Chickadee. Everyone kept just kind of betting Edson Barbossa down. And I just, you know, man, if Edson Barbossa was supposed to be that dominant and supposed to win, then his line should have been negative 180 to negative 200 for the veteran type XP that I saw in him. So I'm getting really good. I'm getting really good at seeing the bait in these lines. And it's starting to help myself to judge not only my bets, but to do these main event spots that used to be a little bit tougher for me to kind of gauge. Thank you so much, Ted Hicks, for the WOW Award, for the Great Discussion Award, for the Teamwork Award. I really can't thank you enough for supporting me and Mr. B. Right now, there's no one I'd rather be talking with than Mr. B about MMA. He really has some really good insight and things that I don't even think about, like the Brian Battle situation where he was fighting at heavyweight. So really appreciate Mr. B, the MMA guy, being here with us. Make sure you tune into him every time that he goes live. But with that said, that was the UFC Vegas 35 Barbossa versus Chickadee. Super exciting event, in my opinion. I'm stoked to cash both bets. So $200 cash for Cope's Corner plus 2 units. Let's fucking go, baby. I don't know what you guys want, man. There's paid touts who don't cash near at the rate of your boy, and I do it for free. Just me, the KOPE, and Mr. B. But sorry, I had to bust the freestyle. It worked. But with that said, also there was the PFL 9 last week. I'm just gonna go over the fights on the main card. What's the matter? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. But one of the posts got stung out here because of the rain.
Oh, no way!
Short circuited and just blazed out.
Oh, no way! So you lost all connection there?
Yeah, no. You see, my lights went out for a minute.
Yeah. Your
came back on.
Your TV went out too. No way.
Yeah.
There's storms all over. My boy in Louisiana is dealing with that hurricane, man. Remember my boy T, the producer of the MMA for Money show that I used to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, but shout out to T Money. I hope he's doing good over there. I know that they're close to being underwater over there. But yeah, like I said, we were blessed with a lot of MMA last weekend. I'm not going to go too deep in it, but PFL number 9 playoffs were on. It was pretty exciting. I went 3 for 4 on my picks. The only pick that I went wrong with was the first fight on the main card. It was Martin Hamlet took on Cesar Ferreira, and Cesar Ferreira ended up blowing his knee, going backwards while Martin was coming for a strike. Ended up taking a hamstring injury. Martin ended up winning. Other than that, the other fight was Antonio Carlos Jr. took on Emiliano Sordi. I had Shoeface to win it. He ended up winning it, even though it could have been iffy. But I also had the underdog, Chris Wade. I told everybody, bro, I was feeling Chris Wade last week. He ended up cashing, I believe it was like plus 145 or more, maybe 195 even. versus Bubba Jenkins and ended up winning a unanimous decision. Chris Wade looked absolutely amazing, man. I was high on him in the UFC, and that's why I picked him to win this fight here versus Bubba Jenkins, and he ended up doing that, man. So shout out to you guys if you catch that bet. And from my lean there, and the next fight was Brendan Loughnane took on Mavlid Khabilov. And Mavlid looked like like a wet blanket, just like I said. All 3 rounds, won a split decision, ended up beating Brendan Loughnane to earn himself a spot in the finale. So PFL number 9 playoffs, it was actually really boring. It was one of the worst PFLs that I've had in a while. Even though I love PFL, but I'm going to just say it how it is because it was boring. But with that said, this week we got blessed with Contender Series Week 1 happening. And if you don't know, that's Dana White's Contender Series, where he picks some up-and-coming talent. He matches them up to fight, and then he picks if they get a contract to fight in the UFC. With the first fight of the night, it was AJ Fletcher took on Leonardo Damiani. And Leonardo Damiani needed to go and just grab his dada's weenie because he got smoked. AJ Fletcher dominated him, bro. Ended up doing a flying knee, smashed him into the ground, smashed his face in the back of the cage, ended up smoking him, man. AJ Fletcher, I knew right away AJ Fletcher ended up was going to get a contract right off of this knee to this guy's dome. What'd you think about this flying knee, Mr. B?
Man, Fletcher's going to be a guy you got to watch out for. You're going to have to keep your eye on him as this and when he gets into the UFC. That dude is something. He got potential, man.
Yep.
I like that double leg he shot on
Damiani. So clean. Yep.
What?
So clean.
Man, just mixing it up. And then that knee was dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
He caught that man flush.
Yep.
That dude instantly crumbled like a sack of potatoes.
Yep.
And then crazy. He threw extra punches. The punches weren't even needed.
No. He was already sleeping. It was awesome. But yeah, dude, like you mentioned, that takedown, that double leg that he got him with ended up being the reason why the dude was so hesitant in the next striking affairs, because he was like, oh shit, I gotta respect this takedown. And then because other than that, Leonardo was doing decent on the striking until AJ changed levels and made him weary of the wrestling. So American wrestling, baby, at its finest. AJ Fletcher ended up winning that fight. Flying knee, KO, TKO, round 1. The next fight was Victor Alta Morano versus Carlos Candelario, 125 pounders. Victor ended up winning the split decision. It was pretty hairy. There's a little bit of debate on who won this fight, but I'm not going to say they didn't deserve it. It was a great fight between both these guys. It ended up being such a good fight that it ended up being worthy of contracts for both of them. So AJ Fletcher got a contract. Both these kids got a contract. So that was 3 contracts before we even got 2 fights in. So what did you think about the fight between Victor and Carlos?
Good fight. A lot of people were arguing about the decision. I thought it was good. I was going for Alta Morano in this fight because I seen him previously on LFA, and I liked how he fights. He's an aggressive guy. He tends to get hit a lot, though. I'm not gonna lie about that, but he also comes back fiery later on in the fights. Candelario had the opportunity, though, I think, to try to edge that second round. I think he let Alta Morano catch up, and then that third round was pretty much Alta Morano's. But credit though, Dana gave both of them contracts. Dana
White was feeling like Santa Claus for once.
Word. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do in the UFC, man.
Yeah, me too. And so like I said, it's crazy to see Dana White throw away 3 contracts with 4 out of 4 fighters. So I'm stoked to see them fight. The third fight, there's only 4 bouts for the Dana White's Contender Series. The next fight was actually a really good one. It was Joe Anderson Britto versus Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes is a pretty well known around the MMA scene. Britto was not as well known, but Britto ended up being slick, man. Not only did this guy throws everything in his mother with all bad intentions, all 3 rounds. I see why he's so exhausted after all of his fights. Why he ends up being on the ground looking like he's dead, just from pure exhaustion, because he literally throws everything. It says it was a decision technically unanimous here on Tapology, but I believe Diego Lopes got eye poked and they went to the judges'
Yeah,
scorecards, right, Mr. B?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Definitely, that's what happened. He
yeah.
had a
So
couple.
yeah,
I think it was like a couple, but the last one was bad.
yeah, it was really bad. It was
And
Diego Lopes.
they even said that's crazy because one of Diego's eyes was already messed up
That sucks,
going
man.
into this fight. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
You can see the frustration in poor Diego Lopes. Maybe that's why, because he already had an eye injury and he was really frustrated and he wanted to fight and he just couldn't, man. But shout out to Britto. This dude's tough though, man. He ended up getting a contract and he deserved it too, man. I felt like he was going to win it no matter what. He was coming on so strong towards the end, and Lopes kind of was folding a little bit in the sense. But the next fight of the night was Azamat Murzakanov versus Matthias Scheffel. Azamat ended up dominating round 1 KO TKO, right hook to ground and strikes. I don't even think the ground strikes were even needed because Scheffel was just smoked on the ground. It was a pretty terrible mismatch, 10-0 versus 14-7. You couldn't have asked for a better volleyball throw for Azamat, but Azamat looked good, man. He ended up winning himself a contract too. So Dana White gave out 5 contracts for the UFC Contender Series this night. So pretty rare night when the Dana White does that. Did you have any thoughts on this fight, Mr. B?
I
didn't have
just
anything
knowing
really.
that Mrzakina, this dude Azamat, Russian sambo. He had the wrestling, but I didn't know he was that light on his feet.
Oh, true.
That
That's true.
dude,
He was
I
very
didn't know.
agile. That's right. He was very agile. That's the only thing. He
Yeah.
was very
And then
agile for a big dude.
Yeah, and the other guy, they mentioned his kick, his Muay Thai, Mateus. And I was like, Mateus was moving, but Mateus was moving a little bit more flat-footed than Azamat. And that caught my attention. I'm like, well, that's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when I started seeing Azamat throw strikes and how he was moving, I was like, oh. But then when he caught him with that was it the right hand? I was like, golly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Golly.
Yeah,
that guy is fast.
Yeah, he's got something special. So stoked to see him get a contract too. Because like I said, and sometimes they don't give out enough contracts in these Contender Series. So in a night where a bunch of people could have got him, he gave out a bunch of them. And so stoked to see what Azamat does versus someone not Shuffle and someone so bad. But he definitely looks like he's got some skills. So with that said, that was the 4 fights for the Dana White's Contender Series for the first week. It's on Tuesday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN Plus. If you guys have that and like watching that, shout out to the 130 plus of you live here watching me and Mr. B rip out and rip down MMA from last week and the UFC for this weekend, which will be UFC Fight Night Brunson versus Till, also known as UFC Vegas 36, baby. I fucking just love MMA, man. This is going to be a short card, man. It's only 10 bouts. Sometimes we have a lot more, and sometimes we lose fights to COVID and have less. So I'm just going to stay with the 10, and we'll probably lose a few on the way, but hopefully not. The first bout of the night is Jonathan Martinez taking on Marcelo Rojo. Jonathan Martinez, he called himself the Dragon. He's 13-4. He's 27 years young. 5'8" with a 69.5-inch reach. He's on a 1-fight losing streak, though. He's fighting out of Plainview, Texas. Shout out to Texas and all that Texas barbecue, baby. That Southern barbecue's fire. He last took on Davey Grant, the OG Englishman. He lost via overhand left in round 2. Davey Grant was looking real slick in that fight and has been looking slick as of late. But before that, he took on Thomas Almeida and beat him on a unanimous decision. And Thomas Almeida was a young, up-and-coming prospect who was undefeated pretty much for a long time. So I like Jonathan Martinez. This kid's young. He's long. He's got a good striking game. And I like his all-around game. He's taking on Marcelo Rojo, who's 33 years old. He's 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. He's on a 1-fight losing streak fighting out of Argentina, baby. Shout out to that barbecue, baby. Argentina barbecue's fire. Give me some entraña anytime or some blood sausage. The last fight that he took on for Marcelo Rojo was Charles Air Jourdain, and he got smoked. Punches, round 3, and got sent into oblivion. Then he fought Victor Hugo Maduril. He lost via punches in Combate 45, and then he lost the arm triangle round 3 to John Castaneda in Combate 35 as well. This guy, Marcelo Rojo, has lost every single way possible, from punches, from chokes, from guillotine choke, from armbar, I believe, rear naked choke. He's tapped, he's napped. Dude, this guy's soft, bro. I'm not a big fan of Marcelo Rojo. The odds right now have Jonathan Martinez at a 155 favorite. I'm actually going to bet Jonathan Martinez here. I'm going to be throwing down the $155 on Jonathan Martinez, 1.55 units on Jonathan Martinez to show him about the raza and send Marcelo Rojo into another world, baby. And so, Jonathan Martinez, what do you think about him versus Marcelo Rojo, Mr. B?
This is not going to be a rough fight to watch. This is going to be rough because Martinez got skill set. He's pretty cool, you know what I mean? Rangy, could fight the in close range, got those nasty knees. But Rojo is a weird guy, man. He's with taking punishment and just moving forward, marching forward, giving that pressure. And he got power in his hands. He got a couple, submission wins and, some knockout wins, I think, if I remember correctly. But this would be one of those pressure situations. I think Martinez could fight this fight kind of smart, find his way, and possibly get a KO, even a submission, because Rojo is there to get submitted. I will say that. And with the pressure, he's also there to get knocked out. I could lean towards Jonathan Martinez, but it will be a hell of a scrap, though.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a scrap for sure. But the age is with Jonathan Martinez. The ceilings with Jonathan Martinez, and Jonathan Martinez is going to be much longer. Marcelo Rojo is only 5'8". Jonathan Martinez is I believe 5'10" minimum. Oh no, he's wrong. They're both 5'8". So scratch that. But the reach is 69.5 versus. Let's see what the reaches are. Dude, they're identical. Actually, Rojo's got a 71, so Rojo's got a longer reach. Yeah, but either way, Jonathan Martinez here got just better striking, younger guy, just get much better ceiling. Has not been finished every bit of the way. I have a rule here on the Cope's Corner. Anybody who taps and been napped, I am always going to bet against you. I don't care, especially if you tapped a guillotine choke, you're going to get bet against. Marcelo Rojo has lost via guillotine choke. Tapping, and I'm just all about betting against that. So The next fight of the night is Dolce Lungombola versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Dolce is 11-2. He calls himself the champion. He is 34 years old. He's 5'8" with a 76-inch reach. He's on a one-fight win streak. He's fighting out of Cape Town, South Africa, baby. He's got a judo base. He last took on Marcus Perez, call himself the Joker, that Marcus Perez does. He won a unanimous decision. I don't have too much. I don't really care too much for that win. It doesn't really give me much to go off of. And then he lost to Magomed Ankalaev, round 3 front kick. Does not like to be versus a better striker than himself. And then he beat Daquan Townsend, round 3 ground and pound, left cross to ground and pound. But Daquan Townsend shouldn't even be in the UFC, and definitely is not anymore. So with Dolce, he's very iffy, man. Marc-Andre Barriault, he calls himself the power bar. He's 12-4, 31 years old. He's 6'1" with a 73-inch reach. He's on a one-fight win streak, fighting out of Quebec City, Quebec. He last took on Abu Azatar, who was 15-1. He won ground and pound round 3. Abu Azatar was pretty decent, and then he took on Oscar Picota. He won a no contest, uppercuts to punches. Doesn't say why. Either way, but then he lost to Jun Young Park, unanimous decision. Christoph Jocko, split decision. Christoph's pretty good. Park's pretty decent. And then Andrew Sanchez, unanimous decision. So he does not like active people that have some kind of power or some kind of wrestling. He's taking on Dolce. Dolce has, to me, not really any wrestling. Like I said, he's 5'8". Marc-Andre Barriault is 6'1". I like Marc-Andre Barriault a lot here, man. I just feel like this is the spot for him to win. The Vegas odds makers on Bovada have about -165 favorite over Dolce, so they're seeing it as the same as I do. I like Marc-Andre Barriault. I like it enough to fire on it. I'm not going to fire on it for Cope's Corner. possibly a bet myself. So stay tuned later on my Twitter on Cubs Corner for a personal DGen bet. If I feel like the edge is there, I feel like it is there though. What do you think about that fight, Mr. B?
This one, well, personally myself, I'm leaving this one alone
Oh
because
yes.
I honestly don't know. Lungiambula is a strong guy. Yeah, he's really strong. KO power in him. Barrios is a tough guy. He has that ability. Before he used to kind of fade and let fights go, but it seems that he's kind of finding his footing and being more so of that grinder. Just keeping that pressure on and staying close. He's found his style. When he fought Azitar, that's what he did. He pretty much was in Azitar's face for the 3 rounds. And so that dude kind of gassed out and just said, nah, to hell with this. I can't do this no more. I think Barrios has the potential to do that same thing to Lungiambula and possibly get a late round TKO in here. But you know what I mean? As well as I say that, Lungiambula has that close range, that judo background.
He can smoke you with one punch.
Yeah, he got that. You know what I mean? He could come in with the monster throw and then try to look for some ground and pound or something like that. Yeah. But as I say, man, Barrios, he kind of keeps that pressure. So I might lean more towards Barrios, but it's going to be a matter of the gas tanks in the late rounds. Somewhere in the second, third round. Yeah.
I agree. Marc-Andre Barrios better be shitting bricks and be on edge for the first round. He really needs to just weather that storm of that bull of Dolce in the first. And if he does, I feel like he could win with the better gas tank and all-around size advantage. Like I said, he's 6'1", man. This is a huge size difference. This is the first time that Dolce is really going to be just greatly outsized, in my opinion, locking horns at 185. Because Dolce should be a 170-pounder, in my opinion. But what do I know? The next fight of the night is Charles Air Jourdain taking on Julian Erosa. Charles Air Jourdain is 11-3-1. He is 25 years young. He's 5'9" with a 69-inch reach. He's on a 1-fight winning streak, fighting out of Quebec. He last fought and took on Marcelo Rojo. He won via punches round 3. We just talked about that. Then he took on Joshua Kubal. He won to draw a split decision, so nobody won. Then he took on Andre Fili, Touchy Fili, who's from Alpha Male, a pretty good veteran. He lost a split decision. And then he took on Duho Choi. He beat him round 2, left cross. So Charles Jourdain he's a prospect. A lot of people, they've been high on him for a while. He's taking on Julian Erosa, Juicy J. He's 25-9. He's 32 years old. He's 6'1" with a 74.5-inch reach. He's on a 1-fight losing streak, fighting out of Washington. He last took on Sungwoo Choi. He lost the first round, left hook to ground and pound, got viciously destroyed by Choi. Then he took on Nate Lamb, where he won via round 1 knee. Flying knee, and then Sean Woodson, who was a great striker, he ended up beating him round 3 by a Darce choke, surprising all of us. Julian Erosa, man, I'm not high on him in any sense of the way. The odds makers have Charles Air Jourdain at a -185 favorite over Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa has experience here, and he's going to have size advantage. That's enough to scare me to back off. I would not bet this fight. But I do like Charles Air Jourdain here. He's younger. I feel like he's the better prospect in the all-around game. But I don't like the size disadvantage. I don't like betting against the veteran, and because of that, it would be a pass for me. What do you think about this bout, Mr. B?
Yeah. Erosa got the experience. Jourdain has a crazy skill set. That man moves fast. He knows how to counter. His kick array is kind of crazy, man. I am a little worried on his takedown defense, though, dealing with a guy like Erosa because of Erosa's size, as you mentioned.
Yep.
Erosa, as I say, he does have that experience. He's kind of building himself back together, you know what I mean? But he kind of leaves himself open to some of these shots. Erosa does. And between these two, Jourdain has that speed advantage, man. As far as you say with the betting, I would leave this alone. Bet at your own risk. I would leave it alone.
This just seems like one of those ones that would kill your parlay, that would kill your
Yeah.
DraftKings, that would just kill your whole night. I really like Charles Air Jourdain's all around the game, MMA wise, but I just don't like going against the size advantage and the experience of Julian Erosa. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it'd be a bet for Charles Air Jourdain.
Right.
So, but that's enough. We're talking about a fight we aren't betting on. The next fight is Jack Shore taking on Ludwig Shalolian. Jack Shore, man, they call himself the Tank. He's 14-0, undefeated, never tasted defeat. 26 years young, 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. He's even his amateur record, he's 26 wins in a row. So he's just never ever been stopped, man. He's fighting out of Wales. He last took on Hunter Azure, a pretty decent wrestler and all-around mixed martial artist. He won a split decision. He took on Aaron Phillips fight night, and he won the rear naked choke round 2. Aaron Phillips was 12-3. So this guy's, really good, man. I really like Jack Shore's all-around BJJ game. He's 5'8", 71-inch reach, though. He's taking on Ludwig Shalolian. Ludwig is 31, 5'10", with 4 wins in a row. I believe Ludwig was on the Ultimate Fighter, right?
Yeah, he was on this season.
Okay, so he was on the Ultimate Fighter. Really, really nice kid. He loved he's Armenian. He always talking about his family. I really, really liked his all-around overall game and attitude. I didn't like his striking though. So with that said, this is a fight that I like. Jack Shore, so do damn odds makers. -575, opened at -275. So he's now, you got to put $575 to make 100 on Jack Shore. That is stupid. I'm gonna pick Jack Shore because I do like him better, but he can find himself in some fits here versus Shalolian, because if it's on the ground where and Jack Shore gets tired, maybe that Ludwig could end up doing something with it. But I'm still going Jack Shore. What do you think about this bout, Mr. B?
I like this fight. I like this fight a lot. We mentioned Jack Shore. Jack Shore is a fit in himself, man. Undefeated. Has good striking, but his ground game is insanity, man. Ludwig is good in his own right with his wrestling. You know what I mean? His takedowns. As you said, his striking is a little iffy, but we seen it. We seen it on Tough. He fought Ricky. Ricky managed to beat him by unanimous decision because Ricky stays active. And Jack Shore offers that same amount of activity. He's relentless, whether it's with the grappling or, he's with the grappling and striking on the ground as well. He stays active. And that kind of gave Shalinian problems. So in this bout, I would lean a little bit more towards Jack Shore, but I mean, taking in what he learned from Tough, probably, I wouldn't be surprised if Shalinian possibly edges this fight. But then again, with the aggressiveness of Shore probably come out with a submission. Who knows?
This is gonna be fun though, because Shalolian has he's a little terror, man. He's gonna come forward, and it could be a detriment or it could be really fun. So this is gonna be really good.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good grappling bout, I feel, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very good transition submission. So make sure you tune in to watch Jack Shore versus Ludwig Shalolian, because it's going to be fun. The next fight of the night is a very, very up for grabs on MMA Twitter right now. Everyone and their mother is talking about Molly Mccann versus Ji Yeon Kim. Every single person I know pretty much is like, Molly McCann's easily going to win this. Well, Molly McCann's easily, like, there's not even a chance for Ji Yeon Kim. Ji Yeon Kim is 9-3-2. She calls herself Fire Fist. She is 31 years old, 5'7", 72-inch reach. She's got a one-fight losing streak fighting out of Korea. Shout out to Korean barbecue, one of my favorite things ever. Last fought Alexa Grasso, lost unanimous decision. Alexa Grasso is a bad B, man. Yeah, she's got great striking. She's got good gas tank. I've been liking her boxing since the beginning. So you can't really hate on that lesson that she had to learn there. But then before that, she took on Nadia Kasim, and she won hooks to the body round 2, and ended up silencing her.
I love that fight.
Yeah, because Nadia Kasim is not the greatest. But she took on Shevchenko Light, Antonia, and she ended up losing a unanimous decision there on the Ultimate Fighter 28 finale. Ji Yeon Kim, man, she is going to be small, I believe. Oh, no, she's not 5'7" and a 72-inch reach. She's taking on Molly Meatball McCann, who's 10-4. She is 31 years old. She's 5'4" with a 62-inch reach, 2-fight losing streak, fighting out of Liverpool, England. Molly Meatball is on a 2-fight losing streak, though, fighting Lauria Procopio, who was 6-1, lost unanimous decision. Then she lost to Taylor Santos, who was 15-1, unanimous decision. I'm not high on Molly Meatball, man. I mean, look at her name is Meatball. I mean, like, how good could she be, dude? What's the odds makers have this? The odds makers have Molly Mccann at a pick 'em. It's -110, -110 down the pipe. And I'm telling you, every single person is on Molly Mccann. I'm gonna pick Ji Young Kim just in spite, because when everyone goes left, I go right. What do you think about this fight, Mr. B?
Man, they said a pick 'em.
I pick 'em 110, 110.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Kim. I'm sorry.
Nice.
I'm leaning towards Kim. This is gonna be a jab and straight hand affair. I'm telling you this right now. Molly is tough. Respects to Molly. Molly is tough. She's had some tough fights. She had that one fight against what's her name? Cachoeira, where she had the whole swollen eye and still fought through. Got that win there. You know, she's in it, but Kim don't really fail me, man. I've been on Kim before. I've picked Kim to win fights before, especially when Kim fought Nadia Kassim. Kassim tried to do that sucker punch thing when they try to, do the fist bump, and she tried to sucker punch her, and Kim almost knocked her out within 30 seconds because of that. That's why
karma.
I lean towards Kim on it. Kim has the longer reach. She works very well rangy wise. I think she's gonna be able to defend a takedown or two off of Molly and stay busy with the hands. Just keep low leg kicks a little bit. Try to front kick a little bit. Keep the distance just so you can throw those jabs and the straight hand punches. You know what I mean? Keep that cannon, and you know what I mean. She'll be good. I think she got that. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I agree.
I'm
especially when everyone is picking Molly Mccann like they were on Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm.
So, everybody picking Molly because they fans. You know what I mean?
You know,
cool. Respect to that, but
I feel like they're racist. We would like Asians over here, okay? All right, we got Asian love on this show. We got Ji Young Kim here versus Molly Mccann. That's the last fight of the prelims. With that said, finally, we're getting to the main card. We have Luigi Vendramini with the Italian weenie. No, that's the nickname I always say to him. He's actually Brazilian. He's taking on Patty Pimblett. I just have to. Every time I see Luigi Vendramini, it just makes me want to say with the Italian weenie, and especially with the Luigi. I mean, it is what it is. But sorry for the ladies here. I know I'm inappropriate sometimes. It's terrible. But with that, also, I'd like to shout out the 190 of you here live with me and Mr. B and the 8 awards you guys have given us. Tuned in. We really greatly appreciate you guys tuning in to us shoot the shit over MMA. With that said, Luigi Vendramini is the first fight of the main card versus Patty Pimblett. Luigi is 9-2. He's holy shit, I was right. He does call himself the Italian Stallion. But I call him the Italian weenie. Either way, it's close. It's close enough. I thought I was joking around. Either way, he's 25 years young. He's 5'8" with a 73-inch reach. He's on a 1-fight losing streak. BJJ base, fighting out a constrictor team. He last took on Fares Ziem, who's 11-3. He won a majority decision. Then he took on Jessen Yari, who was 16-5. He won a head kick and punches round 1. And then he lost to EDS Elizu Zaleski dos Santos, flying knee to punches round 2. So this guy's tasted defeat via punches and knee, and also from decision. He's taken on Patty Pimblett, the baddie, calls himself, 16-3. This kid has got all kinds of hype and more around him. 26 years young, 5'10", born in Liverpool, fighting out of Liverpool, England, 2-fight win streak. This guy's number 2 ranked out of the whole entire United Kingdom and Ireland. A lot of hype behind him, a lot of really good jiu-jitsu. He took on David Martinez, one rear naked choke, who was 8-2 in Cage Warriors, 122. Then he took on Decky Dalton, who was 11-4, 1 ground and pound round 1. He has lost only by decision to Soren Bach, who was actually pretty decent, and Nad Narimani, who is also a UFC fighter. So he has tasted defeat to someone up in the upper echelon. But he's taking on Luigi, man, and I don't have a high ceiling for Luigi. I like Patty Pimblett here. Everyone and their mother probably does. Let me see the odds here. Oh, the odds aren't even that crazy. Negative 145 on Bovada for Paddy Pimblett here versus Luigi Vendramini. I like Paddy Pimblett here. I think that he's going to roll at the negative 145 number. What do you think about this bout, Mr. B?
This is gonna be another tough one, man. Paddy, man, Paddy. It's been a long time coming, man. We were supposed to get this somewhere, I think, like early last year or late 2019, but he's arriving, man. Everybody's high on him on you know what I mean, the social media and all that stuff. This fight is gonna be a tough fight. Um, I don't know who to lean towards on this one. I'm still kind of undecided. I like Paddy. We gotta see though if Paddy make weight. Paddy's had weight issues in the past, so we're gonna see if Paddy make weight. Yeah, there's also been like he's been on Twitter. He had a beef with somebody because somebody announced that they wasn't gonna have a fight.
Oh yeah, that's
Then,
right.
I know the guy, Marcel, Big Marcel.
Yeah, he's
Marcel
a good guy,
24.
right?
Yeah, good guy. Due to the information, but the information was kind of right, and then he got upset because other people were calling him out, just clowning him. So he stopped replying to people, and you know what I mean. But outside of that, Paddy's all right, man. His skill set's pretty dope. He throws good combinations. He's a fast guy. Got good submission skills. Benjamini's another dude who's quick on the, you know what I mean? He has fast footwork, really quick with the finishes. If he's looking for them, he carries power. I'm undecided on this one, but I'm really looking forward to the debut of Paddy Pimblett in this fight.
Me too, man. It's like I want to say
sure.
Paddy Cake should win this easily, you know, but it's like Luigi is going to present some problems to him. But I like Paddy here. I think this is his fight to win and lose.
Yeah.
So with that said, the next fight of the night is Khalil Rountree versus Modeska Bukowskas, who is really Khalil Rountree is 8-5. He calls himself the War Horse. He is 31 years old. He's 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Last took on Marcin Prokhnio and ended up losing a unanimous decision. Took on Ian Kutlaba, lost the elbows from Mount round 1, and then he took on Eric Anders in one unanimous decision. Then lost to Johnny Walker round 1, elbows. He's all over the place. Clear, super good specimen, super good body, man. A lot of power, very agile, but I just don't believe in him, man. And I don't think he believes in himself all the time. He's very spotty. But Modeskas Bukowskas, he calls himself the Baltic Gladiator. He's 11-4. He's 27 years young, 6'3", with a 78-inch reach. He's on a 2-fight losing streak himself, though. He last took on Mikhail Ozulechek. He lost a split decision, and he took on Jimmy Crute, and he lost punches round 1. Jimmy Crute's kind of a savage and an absolute beast ground and pounder, so you can't really get mad at that because you get caught in the ground, you can end up dying. So, you know, this is a weird one, man. What do the odds makers have? The odds makers have Khalil Rountree at a plus 130 underdog. Modeskas is at 155. Like I said, I slightly favor Modeskas Bukowskas. He's just kind of given me more. He kind of has an all-around better game. He's a little bit bigger. With that said, I would end up picking him, Modeskas Bukowskas, to just barely defeat Khalil Rountree. But it's probably if Clear shows up, it's going to be a crazy fight. If he doesn't show up, Modeska's going to finish him quite easily. What do you think about this fight, Mr. B?
Yeah, man, I like Khalil Rountree, but I am disappointed, man, in some of his performances. Man, Jesus, he's looked bad in some of his last couple fights. He's also questioning himself, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I am afraid for him in this fight against Bukowskas. Bukowskas' last fight, he could have won that fight. And he looked dangerous in that fight as well. He had that loss to Jimmy Crute. Outside of that, though, he is a big guy at 205. He's a ripped guy at 205. He throws with solid power, you know what I mean? He can fight alongside the cage. He's not afraid to go for an occasional takedown. And as I said, Rountree is good, but Rountree, he's a little hesitant on throwing punches sometimes. He's kind of lackadaisical later in the fight. You know, he gassed out the last time he fought.
Just
I
quits
don't
out of
know,
nowhere.
man. Yeah, it's just like, come on, man. I don't know. If Rountree ends up gassing out, Bukowskas will go in there and finish the fight.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
am very I'm concerned about Rountree in this fight. I really am.
yeah,
But Rountree is so spotty, as you said, because he could come out here, you know what I mean, come out Saturday and get a KO out of nowhere, you know what I mean?
yep,
But
very much
as
so.
as
If he comes in like a hammer, he could be a hammer, but he's just so spotty, bro.
yeah, I
It's like
would lean towards Bukowskis in this one. What you was gonna
nice.
say? My fault. I cut
No,
you
just
off
like
again.
I was gonna say, he's like the weatherman. You don't quite know what he's gonna say or what he's gonna get because he says shit. Just like
Yeah,
you don't know where Khalil Roundtree's gonna show up or when he's not. But he is a specimen. He is dangerous as shit. If Modeska does not take him serious in the first round, he may end up smoked. So, with that said, the next fight of the night is David Zawada versus Alex Morano. David Zawada calls himself Saget. Saget probably from Street Fighter. 17-6. He's 31 years old. He's 6 foot with a 75-inch reach. He's on a one-fight losing streak. Fighting out of Dulsendorf, Germany, the Deutschland. So shout out to all the Germans and my Copenhagen brethren. He last took on Ramazan Amiv, and he lost a split decision. And then he took on Abukar Nurmagomedov, a one triangle choke round one on ESPN plus 21. And then he took on Jinglieg Lee, and he lost the side kick to the body in round three. And then Danny Roberts lost split decision. So David Zawada has lost multiple times, not from split decision, from kicks, and from splits. So double splits and being finished. He's taken Alex Morano, man. Alex Morano, man, the great white, he called himself 19-7. He's 31 years old. He's 5'11", 72-inch reach. He's on a one-fight win streak. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, though. He loves getting you down on the ground and getting you in a submission. He does have some striking a game. He last took on Donald Cerrone, won by punches, standing KO in round one. I don't even credit that at all because it's Donald Cerrone in the year 2020, so it doesn't mean anything to me. He lost to Anthony Pettis, unanimous decision. I don't know, man. This is a very, very interesting bout. 5'11" versus 6 foot. David Zawada, man, dude. I'm feeling something weird here. I'm gonna go with David Zawada for some reason. I like him more. I like his game. I think he's tougher. Alex Morano is the type of dude. If he gets hit on his bitch ass chin, he will wobble and go linguini leg so fast that you will not believe it. So I cannot bet. I would not bet this fight, and I will not bet this fight. It opened up at -200 Alex Morano, and it looks like everybody believes what I do in David Zawada. So he was plus 150. Now he's plus 115. So I like David Zawada here. I don't like the movement on the line, but I still like David Zawada here in this matchup. What do you think about it, Mr. B?
yeah. This is a very random fight. This is as random as you can put on the card.
Seriously.
It's really random. It's really really random. Um, Zawada is a big guy for 170. His size, like
Big.
they look two totally different bodies when you go into this fight.
Oh,
Zawada looks like a tank, and then
oh yeah.
Morano looks plain as day. You know what I mean? He looks like
Hey,
a
to be
welterweight
fair,
Joe Lozon.
to
He's
be
like
fair,
yeah,
it looks like my brother War Machine and me. That's what it looks like. It looks like my big ass swollen ass bro versus just like I'm all right, I'm all right. I get my bitches, but I don't gotta go to the gym all the time. I gotta
yeah,
work.
yeah.
But sorry to interrupt
No, 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 no.
you.
It's just that Morano is a tough guy, man. He's with the action. He always want to jump in with the action. But it might cost him. It might
Yep.
cost him if he tries to get in there a little bit too aggressive.
He puts himself in
Zawada,
danger, huh, Mr. B?
yeah, Zawada throws hard. He can throw hard punches, hard leg kicks, and hard body kicks. Is some of the things Zawada's capable of throwing, as long as as well as his hands. I mean, but he also has a nasty submission game. Um, as you say, Morano, man, Morano kind of surprises people with these random shots, though, where he could throw a random shot, get you wobbled, and take over a fight. Um, I would leave this one alone. Take this one at your own risk, though.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a really interesting fight. because as you say, Morano is with the jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? He has a jiu-jitsu game, but there's a lot of times we've seen where Morano will keep fights standing up way too long on the feet. He wants to stay there and just throw action packed. You know what I mean? He wants to have action packed fights, and I don't know if you want to do that with a guy like Zawada, but you might have to because you don't want to get into those grappling situations with a guy like Zawada.
Yeah, I know that Alex Morano is a BJJ black belt, and so I was trying to see what Zawada was. I mean, I was stalking him on his Instagram, but I don't see anything. Yep, Zawada's only a purple belt. So the jiu-jitsu edge is going to be with Alex Morano here. That I always favor the better jiu-jitsu guy, but the size here is just scary for me.
Yeah.
So I just sorry to interrupt you, but I want you to know. So the jiu-jitsu edge is purple belt David Zawada, BJJ black belt with Alex Morano, but size with David Zawada greatly. So, but yeah, I like David Zawada here. I think he gets it done in the last before the co-main event. With that said, the reason why I'm here, Tom Aspinall taking on in the co-main event Sergey Spivak. I am all Tom Aspinall all motherfucking day, folks. Have been since he got here, and we're about to be that way. He's 10 and motherfucking 2, 28 years young, 6'5", 78-inch reach. He's coming from the depths of hell and with the Thor hammer. 6 wins in a row. He is fighting out of England, man. So shout out to the English. He last took on Andrei Arlovsky and choked him unconscious, rear naked choke in round 2. Then he took on Alan Badeau. He beat him ground and pound round 1. Then he took on Jake Collier, right cross, round 1. He just smokes everyone at round 1. His last 7 fights, he smoked them all in round 1. 6 of 7 he's been in round 1. Andrei Arlovsky was a round 2 naked choke. I love Tom Aspinall here. I think that this guy's that is the future. I think he's a title contender in the heavyweight division. He's taking on Sergey Spivak, who calls himself the Polar Bear. He's 13 and 2. He's 26 years old. He's 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. He's on a 3-fight winning streak himself, which is impressive. Fighting out of Moldova. He last took on Alexei Olenek, won a unanimous decision. Tom Aspinall ain't fucking Alexei Olenek, I'll tell you that, okay? That old grizzly bear is not Tom Aspinall, this young stallion, right? Then he took on Jared Vandenera. Jared Vandenera sucks. He shouldn't even be here. He shouldn't even be fighting the UFC. He shouldn't be fighting a slushy vending machine. He shouldn't be fighting, period. He shouldn't be at Chuck E. Cheese fighting with my kid. That's how bad Jared Vandenera is, in my opinion. Lost ground and pound, beat him ground and pound round 2. Dude, like, big deal. You're beating a bunch of bums, dude. Tom Aspinall is going to absolutely smash Sergey Spivak into the ground. Spivak's going to be lucky to have teeth after this matchup. Right now, the odds makers have my boy Tom Aspinall on Bovada at the -250 number. So $250 makes 100. I'm pulling out the rare max bet, $500. 5 units going down on Tom Aspinall to absolutely silence the polar bear, to shed him and just take his skin from him and skin him to death. Tom Aspinall plus or -250 times 500, baby. So let's go. What do you think about it, Mr. B?
Man. It's a good fight. I am going to lean towards a lot of what you said, though. Tom Aspinall is out here looking like a beast. Sergey has come out here. He's gotten wins, but it's not like he looked really incredible in this fight or, wow, he really did it. You know what I mean? It's just been like, meh, type fights. You know, you look at him, he's like, meh, yeah. That's okay. Yeah, it's not like, wow. Tom Aspinall smoked Jake Collier, as you said. You know what I mean? And look at what he did to Andrei Arlovsky. That dude went from striking to shooting the most scariest double leg takedown I've ever seen somebody attempt.
Yeah. 265 pounds.
He did some like Josh Barnett, Kevin Randleman type power double, mutant double, because he just darted right at him and got that submission win. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Aspinall is kind of freaky with the way he goes at things. I like his hands a lot. I like his boxing, how it's coming together. He also, he trains with dudes like Darren Till and Tyson Fury and them.
Mhm.
He trains at the Fury's gym with Fury's dad and them, all that, the
Fury's
family
the
and
man.
whatnot.
Shout out to Tyson Fury.
Yeah, so his skill set is coming along. If it hasn't come along already, it's getting better and better with each fight. I think he comes in here trying to light up Spivak on the feet. Spivak will definitely look to try to put his weight on him, keep him against the cage, try to get in the clinch situations because that's what he kind of does when he doesn't have the striking advantages. He likes to put his weight on people, attempt the takedowns. I think Aspinall's going to be very understanding of that. Try to keep the movement going and just pick them apart, find the opportunity, and just wrap this fight up.
Yeah,
That's how I
baby.
feel. Yeah.
Nice. I'm glad you see it the same way. But with that said, I rarely pull out the max bet. But man, Tom Aspinall in the 265-pound division is an absolute specimen. We haven't not had a 265-pound fighter that I've been this excited for in a while. The only other person that I can think of is Alexander King Kong Romanov. But I still like Tom Aspinall more than my boy King Kong. So with that said, that's the co-main event of the night, and that will be the rare max bet 5 units going down on Tom Aspinall at negative 250 to make 2 units, $200 extra on Tom Aspinall to win the co-main event. The main event of the evening is Derek Brunson versus Darren Till. Derek Brunson is 22-7. He's 37 years old. 6'1", 77-inch reach. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He's got a wrestling base. He last took on Kevin Holland and looked absolutely amazing. Won a unanimous decision, just smothered him like a wet blanket. Took on Edmund Shabazian and showed him about the upper echelon of the sport. Won by ground and pound round 3. And he took on Ian Heinich and showed him what real wrestling was all about and the unanimous decision affair. Derek Brunson has taken on Darren the Gorilla Till. 18-3-1. Darren Till is only 28 years young, man. He's 6 foot, 75-inch reaches on a 1-fight losing streak. He last fought and took on Robert Whitaker. Robert Bobby Knuckles Whitaker is an absolute stud. You can't even blame him for that. Then he took on Kevin Gastelum, won a split decision. Then he lost George Masvidal punches round 2 in a fight that he was winning, and George Masvidal came out like a bat out of hell and ended up silencing him. That I don't even think Darren Till knew what happened. Then he lost to Tyron Woodley via Darce choke in round 2 because Tyron Woodley did not want to punch at all and wanted to hug all the fight. So either way, his losses are versus some absolute studs, man. He's been here since he was basically a kid. I like Darren Till a lot here, man. I think that he's younger. I think that he's stronger. I think that he's got way better striking. He's also a southpaw. He's gonna have a big straight left. I like the kid, man. I think he's got a way better ceiling. The odds makers have Darren Till right now at the negative 175 number, plus 145 comeback for Derek Brunson as the underdog. I like Darren Till here. I think that this is his spot to shine. I think the UFC knows that too. He's only 28 years young. He's very funny. He's charismatic. He's all fun on Twitter. He's always fucking around on interviews. So I'm going with Darren Till here to finish Derek Brunson and send him into the oblivion. What do you think about this fight, Mr. B?
This fight, man. This fight got my attention. Derek Brunson's he's climbing up there. He's getting up there. Been in the middleweight division for quite a while. Been in the top 15 for quite a while. We know he's been in Strikeforce. He's in UFC. He's had an up and down roller coaster as far as the middleweight division is concerned. Carries big power, solid wrestling game. Blending both of them together now. Finally, he's not fighting like a damn bull in a China cabinet. I mean, a China store. You know what I mean? Just smashing things left and right with no damn concern as to what's going on, and then getting smoked. That was his whole concern. His whole thing. He would throw those weirdo punches, looking like goddamn, what do you call it, like a damn jackhammer, and then get smoked out of nowhere. But he's blending up his wrestling game together. Darren Till got skills. Darren Till's worst enemy, though, is himself.
100%.
In this fight, he got to bring everything together. Everything has to come together. He has to be wary of the takedown defense. He has to pick his time on when to get these shots in or not. Blend the game all around. Sometimes we've seen Darren Till go in and, early in his career, he was the kickboxer. Light on his feet, hopping around, throw these kicks from here and there. Then he became the KO, the puncher. And he started trying to throw punches and KOing people. He fell in love with the punches after he knocked out Cerrone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With his left hand. You know, he got caught by Woodley. Tried to do the same thing with Masvidal. Masvidal snuck him. You know what I mean? He came in middleweight. Used his size, you know what I mean, to fend off Kevin Gastelum. Stop Kelvin. Fought Robert Whittaker. In my eyes, had a real good fight with Robert Whittaker. Just had to figure out a couple things. That left power. He tries to throw that counter lead uppercut straight left sometimes, or you know what I mean. But he's dynamic with it. He has to throw some of these kicks. Nothing crazy to the body though. Use some low leg kicks. Use the kick that Whittaker was throwing. You know what I mean? That downward kick. You know what I mean? A little bit to the knee. Try to do a little something on Derek Brunson to stop that the potential for takedowns. Destroy that lead leg of his, and move. Yep. Use your size to defend those takedowns. Get your shots in, and try to fight a little bit harder in the clinch. Use your knees in the clinch. We don't see Darren Till use a lot of knees. You know what I mean? As you said, he's a big guy from middleweight, man.
Very big.
Even, you know, he was big at welterweight, and he's pretty big from middleweight. But as I say, it's his fight. You know what I mean? It's his fight to you know what I mean? He has to win this fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. I just like Darren Till here. I think the like you said, this is his fight to win. He has to win this fight. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's younger, he's got better striking. He's got the left hand that can silence Derek Brunson's chin. Derek Brunson's been silenced before, and also Darren Till has a great takedown defense game and jiu-jitsu game as well. So with that said, man, this should be a really exciting event, even though there's only 10 fights going on. I'm going to repeat my bets. I have Jonathan Martinez, $155 on him to beat Marcelo Rojo, so 1.55 units. And then I have the rare max bet on Tom Aspinall to finish Sergey Spivak, just win on the money line. Negative 250 says money line. I have $500, so 5 units to win 2 units on Tom Aspinall for my big play of the card. And so with that said, if you didn't know, this UFC is going to be very early. It's going to be 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the start of it. So make sure that you set your clocks accordingly if you're an MMA fan. I really appreciate all 232 of you here live and the 8 awards that you gave me, Mr. B. Mr. B, I cannot thank you enough for being here with me to shoot the shit for the hour and 28 minutes that we've gone here. Really can't thank you enough, bro.
No problem, man. As I always say, I'm greatly appreciative of being on here with you, man. Cut it up with MMA, you know. Yeah, man, it's always fun. It's always fun to get on here and talk to you, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure, bro.
Get your betting tips, get your betting knowledge in here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we always seem to do really good together, and we have the same kind of lean. So I feel good when I have a fighter I like, and then Mr. B is feeling it the same. So, like I said, I appreciate all 232 of you guys here live. Until next week, and next time, I'll be here back for Cope's Corner on Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And till next week, let's roll.